How's it going, guys? Today I just wanted to show you how I made this sound effect. So first I'm going to show you guys how I did this quick riser sound. So I have this LFO and it is tied to the cutoff of this filter, and that's it for the LFO. I got a disperser on there, and I have this uber loud on there, and that's all for that one. So in this clip there's actually a really large waterfall in the background. Here's what it sounds like. For this, I loaded a wave sample into Faceplant. I added reverb, and this filter actually does nothing, but I do have another filter that cuts out at the end using automation. And yep. So this is the ambient layer in the background. You can only really hear this one if you have like really good headphones, but this is actually a preset, and it's kind of crazy, I know, but you can just you can actually search up this preset yourself. I think it's called Alien Trailer Textures. That should be what it is, but yeah, it's got all these effects on it, and I put a filter on it myself so that I could automate it towards the end to get that kind of like fade out for the impact. And here's what it sounds like without that filter. Yeah, it's whatever. And I also have some stereo on it just to make it wider in the headphones, and that is all for that one. Yeah, so now I actually have the first of like these fun-ish sound effects. This first patch here is pretty common when it comes to anime sound design. It's really just like a sine wave with an LFO, and this LFO is tied to the pitch. So it's got like a you can see here, like it pitches down and then goes back up. Yeah. So next I have like this like stronger impact, you could say. It's not really an impact, but this is actually like really similar to the Big Stomp preset in Vital. And Vital's free, and this preset's free. But here I can show you like what all the LFOs and the envelopes are tied to. But you realistically can just grab the preset, and then I just tweaked it a little bit. I already like the way it sounded, so. All right, next we got this big old sound effect here. Oop. One sec. Yeah, this one's also done in Vital, and this is my favorite sound I made. It is really, well, it's not, I wouldn't say really close, but I did start off with the Railgun preset as well in Vital. I really mess with the envelopes. You can see here, like, this is kind of more similar to what it is in the original. I mean, not really, but it's not at all like the same. So I just went crazy with the envelopes. I went crazy with the LFOs, like the shapes of them, and it gave me exactly what I wanted. And I don't show it in this recording, but another thing that I do with this one is that I do automate the reverb to have a less mix when it zooms on Zoro. And I also automate the uber loud high pass, or the high band pushed going upwards the longer the attack goes on. So next I have this white noise sweep, and if you know me, I love white noise sweeps. I actually like it's my favorite thing ever. So if you go into the Faceplant, this is what it is. It's pretty much just like I have two LFOs tied to the cutoff, one to the resonance, and at the end it goes down. So that's it. Yeah, so next I have these slashes, and you'll see that there are actually only two layers here. One is like one in Faceplant, and one is done just with the recording. Here it is. Yeah. So I'll show you the recording first. The recording is kind of weak. This is what it sounds like without any effects. Yeah, so I literally just like put two things in metal together and did that. It's really lame. Here it is with the effects chain on Snapheap. The reverb and the delay is like hard carrying this sound. And then I also add uber loud, and this is what the uber loud looks like. For the Faceplant section of it, it sounds like this. And I actually used this, I made this sound for a different project. And I had this slapstick on there, and I basically turned down the harmonic, or the pitch, as it goes on. And I have the distortion on it with the shaper, and I'll show you what it looks like what the original sound I made for my Shanks project was. It's a lot more beefy, as you can tell, and that's because it has distortion and has no reverb. But yeah, I didn't really want that beef for this project, so I did edit it a bit, obviously. So yeah. Alright, so for these next two, I have the explosion sound. These are not the same sample, but they're pretty similar to one another. They do have the same effects chain, so we're only going to look at one, but here it is. It's just, this is what it sounds like without the effects. This is just a sample I have of an explosion that I recorded. It's not actually an explosion, but you can do things with Foley. Yeah, the effects chain isn't really that crazy. I have Uberloud, I have like disperser, shaper, whatever. And here's the wave. Here's another sample I have of a wave. It's a very great sample I use for everything. And all I have is reverb on it. No automation or anything. So yeah, it's literally just a wave sample I recorded with reverb. Okay, next I'll show you the lightning sounds I made. They're not really that crazy. This is it. So without the effects chain, it's literally just it's just like a tape measure. Like you can, this is a really bad sample, but you put these effects on it and it sounds kind of like lightning, I guess you could say. It's kind of, I'll show you the same thing with the other lightning. These are a little bit different because the effects are different. But it is the same type of recording style. I did use a tape measure for them as well. This one is pitched up instead, and it's got a chorus and a saturator. Also, I pretty much only use the Kilohertz Ultimate Toolbox along with Vital and Uberloud. Those are pretty much the only plugins I use. And then here's the blood. This, I mean, you can tell what this is. This is just a recording of my sing. Here it is without the effects. You'll hear like this really disgusting low frequency because I hit the mic. I moved the mic when I was recording, so you have all these lows, but I fixed it with a high pass filter. And then I just put a disperser and reverb on it, and that is all for that sound. And it sounds, it's sprays, it's a spray sound. Yeah, and we'll listen to it just one more time from a little bit before. Okay, I accidentally forgot to put the effects back onto the the lightning. It sounds really bad. Hold on. Okay, that's much better. Much better. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit kind of tutorial. If you want to see any other sounds that I made or any sequences, just let me know, and that's all. See ya.